Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Hyper Light Drifter. If you remember from last time, we took out the left side of the level, of the northern level, and today we are going to go right. We have got all the major modules we need to take on the boss of this area, and so we are going to finish up the northern area and then just do a little extra at the end. We're going to do sort of a fill-in for the important areas that we missed. Once we beat the northernmost boss, we'll get a tool that we need in order to open up some of the secrets that have been hidden before. So let's head on into the 3-module boss door. I thought it was interesting. Look at the jackalope, I guess that is. Jack squirrel, horned squirrel, or something like that. I like the little wildlife they have in this northern area up here. I mean, they had tadpoles and stuff in the eastern area too, but I appreciate the arboreal nature up here. So I thought it was interesting. I commented last time as well that they seem to have the same elevators as they did in the eastern area. Some tech looks the same. Makes you wonder about what this area was like before the big war or conflict or whatever they made those giants for. I'm not sure why they have the lights dim right at first and then go up as you approach in. Maybe it's indicating that light comes from within the temple, but that antechamber wasn't lit. But this is an impressive looking area. Anytime you see a narrow corridor with little platforms like that, you ought to be thinking, rushes. Man, that shotgun is good. Okay, so you see the two attacks that these big magicians have. They can either fire those magic spells at you, or they make the ground in front of you glow for a second and then it explodes in a damaging attack. Notice the secret icon there. One thing that I do like, and not to get into things prematurely, but learning how to beat the enemies of a particular area does train you for the boss. So I think that's something kind of nifty. One thing that I think is interesting, and I think we ought to consider a little bit, is in both of the areas we've been in so far, the easternmost area was an aquatic zone, and this is, obviously more of an air theme to it. The inhabitants of the area, well, I guess the new inhabitants of the area to the east, and the old inhabitants to the west, swear I'm working on my grenade addiction, didn't need to get around just through mundane means, I mean, the amphibians could swim, presumably a lot of these birds can fly. It's interesting that there's still paths to get around for ground walkers. Now, part of that's because, we actually have to play the game. But I wonder if, shotgun is just so good. I wonder if part of that isn't indicating a unified culture they had before, so that people who didn't fly or swim would need to be able to get around. Anyway, picked up a major module there. We're going to see a lot of brawls in this level. Also notice the library nature of where we are now. A lot of books, a lot of sacrifices, and a lot of big fights. I guess we don't care about reading. Not sure if we can read, to be honest. Incidentally, we had mentioned before about hyperlight, wondering what that is. Word from the creators, apparently, is that the sword we are wielding is a hard light saber. So that's how it can change its size and do some of the other fancy things that it does. It is, in fact, kind of a lightsaber kind of deal. So presumably that is hyperlight. Don't miss the fact that it's snowing in here. And but it doesn't seem to. I mean, there's some signs of neglect and wear, but it's one of the many secret areas. It doesn't really seem to have been going on forever. So you kind of get the impression that This area used to be a major center of learning, but has been abandoned. Here we go. Clear out and find that secret pad there. They're just so good. I mean, you know, I could have fought those guys, or I could have not. Now, I'm dawdling around here a little bit because I remembered that there were some additional secrets. If nothing else, I haven't found a way to... Oh, there's... malaria can make you throw up, incidentally. Just that's our little now you know for this this update. Anyway, I knew that there was a way to get down to the southern area there, and we'll see that. That pause was just me sort of moving around and investigating the area. I tried to edit out some of the secret looking that I do, just because it's not really interesting to watch me moving up and down the areas 5 times, you know, checking everything. Look at that view, though. And clearly that's the boss door there. However, again, I knew that there was something else we needed to do. And in fact, I found it. Within that first secret, if you push all the way up to the left and move down, then you can enter into a second secret area. This game loves secrets within secrets. In fact, you can get your little doubloon right there, your piece of 8. However, if you move down, there is a secret within a secret within a secret, which is where we get our, I believe, second to last monument. As before, I will be secret within a secret within a secret within a secret. As before, I will be posting the translations to those monuments when we do a closer look at this northern area. I'm sure some of you have caught on by now. The cultural influences in this area seem a little more obvious to me. I'll go into this more in the video we do later, but I can see some clear, like, Tibetan and Japanese influences and stuff like that. But enough of that for now. So the boss of this area, things go really quickly when we encounter the boss. So I'll just say, his main attack is going to be the secondary attack of the priest animals. He's going to make the ground explode, and which means you always kind of have to be dashing with him. He is quite a step up in difficulty from the eastern boss. So I'll try to narrate this the best I can. Look at this. Ouch. Look at the arena with all the crows cheering him on. I really like that. His patterns are relatively simple. That's a little snake thing that follows after you. And again, you can walk in the areas right when they turn purple. You just have to jump when they happen. Also, occasionally he will summon minions, although they're not too much of a threat. He'll go in the center, and then he dashes off to his side. The attacks wasn't quite quick enough. That's our first boss death. The attacks get progressively harder to dodge as you go along. This fight is especially onerous in New Game Plus. We'll get to that when we get there. The music is, again, of course, just top-notch. Look at this cool wig. I like that. It can be a bad idea to charge right in as soon as he goes to the diagonal areas, because then you're going to have to run away and it gets awkward to avoid his Explodo attack. So possibly a better idea is giving him a second to fire that, letting it snake after you, and then dash back up to him. I should be doing more hit-and-run tactics against him. Making big lines like that explode is a sign that he's really getting down there in health. You can see he's hurting. Now, that's sort of his final attack. And thank goodness for that shotgun. And this is my favorite. Look, he's a tiny little guy. Just perched on top of Big Shadow Man body. That is the best revelation in the game right there. I love that. So, a tougher fight than the Eastern area boss. Took us 2 tries, which is still pretty good, but not bad overall. His crow minions aren't really much problem. They're easy to take out without breaking too much of a sweat. He's got an awesome throne. Look at that thing. And what have we here? Yes, indeed, a new ranged weapon. This is going to see use very quickly. This is a laser sniper rifle, and in the my first playthrough, because I didn't understand how great the shotgun was, I basically exclusively used this gun. It's still really good. It does, I believe, 2 regular sword swipes of damage. Let's take a moment for pillar time. There we go. As I was saying, it takes 2 sword swipes of damage, it pierces, and it basically goes in a straight line until it reaches the edge of the map. So it's a really good gun. Still not quite as good up close as the shotgun would be, because it doesn't do nearly as much damage. But from a distance, it's really good. It's a good sniper's weapon. Promise I will try to work on my crippling grenade addiction at some point. My friends and family are worried about it. I can't believe I missed that health pack up there. What an amateur move. Anyway, the real advantage to the laser sniper rifle, as we'll see here in a minute, is it allows you to reach some further isolated areas. Anything with one of those, blink! There we go. You can hit that with the regular pistol, by the way, but it doesn't charge it up all the way. It just kind of halfway charges up. It makes it smoke a little bit, but it doesn't make the platforms appear. So this area is one of the obviously post-boss secrets. I can't believe I missed that. And it is all about tons and tons of these crows flying at you. And it's actually a bad area for that, because what you want with the crows is to be able to wait for their charge and then sidestep them a little bit, because they don't alter their course once they've started flying. Unfortunately, in these narrow confines, that's awfully hard to do. You can also use guns to attack them while in the air, but you run out of ammo so quickly for that. This is another area which is extremely annoying in New Game Plus. But, we'll get to that when the time gets here. So now that we have that sniper rifle, there's plenty of challenge content, I would say, available to us. Obviously, the only story important thing is getting those huge pillars out. That's what you need to progress the main plot, and everything else is just kind of icing on the cake. So that's what we're engaged in now. Look at these cool statues. And there's our reward, the second to last, the penultimate major module. If you remember, there was an area right in the beginning which was black, was very dark, and had pillars that wouldn't open until we had beat the northern boss. Here it is. And there we go. So this area is a bit frustrating. You see those guys moving back and forth, those blocks moving back and forth. Those are, as always, one-hit kills, so you wait for them to go by and dash on through. And this area is a low-light maze area. Now, fortunately for all of you, I played this enough that I remember the route through it pretty well, so we won't be seeing, you know, blundering around as much as possible. We're going to just basically take the quickest route through. There are a few things to be gotten down here, and a few secrets and all that. I know it says my gun was fully charged, it's just hard to really use it too much down here. This claustrophobic environment. It's really interesting because this is a game all about being quick and mobile, and they let you see the enemies and they let you see where you are, but they don't show you any of the environment, and that makes it difficult and awkward, not to mention the close confines of the maze walls make it a little awkward to be dashing around in. It's an interesting reversal from normal gameplay. I'm glad most of the game isn't this way, but little sections like this are kind of neat. Also, I guess this is just the bone pit down here. It doesn't really seem like a catacombs because a lot of the skeletons are just piled together. Really seems like there should be a secret down here because you can sort of walk into the wall, but as far as I know, there's not. It's nice of them to light up that switch there. Finding that switch is the only real maze part. Once that happens, you probably already passed the door that it opens, so you're good. This part up here I don't care much for, though. It's really easy, but as you can see, look, I just barely got clipped, and that counted that as a death. And you have to redo the whole maze every time you die. Anyway, the trick is just letting it push you, which is, that's not hard at all. But still, I don't know, seems like a bit of a cheap shot. There's that secret. Move down through the forest and get your piece 08. We have plenty of deuces at this point, and so I'll be doing another little thread pull, and you guys can tell me who we want to buy something from next, whether we want a dash or a sword attack. I'm equally sanguine on both areas. Yeah, the big charge shot is ideal for a bunch of these little swarmy guys. And here is our final major module. Very nice, making the northern area the first where we have gotten all of the modules. Now you have to escape through these things, and if they kill you here, fortunately they only teleport you back to where you got the major module, so that was at least a bit of a mercy there. Alright, there's still a key door to be gotten through here in the northern area. Unfortunately, we don't have enough keys for that yet. It's right by where we are now. But might as well go back before we tackle the final area. And by final, I mean the all major module door. I've mentioned that there's one of those in each of the 4 radiant areas, and they're kind of a final exam challenge, if you will, for the area. Pretty much all like battle and agility related, though. Don't worry, the thread pole's still intact. We're going to have enough modules by the end of this video that I can afford to buy something else. I would very much like 2 grenades. That is of interest to me. And I think we maxed out the pinky. I forget if you can get 3 grenades or not. Just look that up. We haven't talked to Drunkard over here, by the way. Look at that. That is an immense number of keys to get through there. But look at old Drunkelstan here. Comes to the city with big dreams, and according to him, all the shopkeepers ganged up on him and beat him bloody and left him here to drink his woes away. It's interesting because I don't actually think I believe him. I think he's probably just... Here, have a token. I think he's probably just kind of a lazy drunk. That's my impression, because I like the shopkeepers, because, frankly, they give me stuff, I mean, in exchange for money, but, they seem like they're on the up and up. All I know this guy is he's getting drunk on soda pop or whatever. I guess you can invent your own narrative there as you wish. So it's not clear what's tech and what's magic in this setting. I believe Hierophant was the enemy, the technical name for the enemy of this level. I'll call him Bird Mage as opposed to Toad Boss from last level. So yeah, I would assume he had technology, just kind of like we do. I don't know that I've seen magic be explicitly part of this setting. It's more like, sufficiently advanced technology kind of thing. But maybe, who knows? Anyway, let's brave the depths. And yes, this pathway does start disintegrating on you right away. This is one area where it's very nice that we have that reflect the projectiles ability, because otherwise a few of the areas coming up would be just disastrously harder. Now, if you're playing this game yourself, it's probably a good idea to, before you get to this area, max out your health packs. I have one down, which really isn't bad at all. They give you, sufficient to get your levels of them up, but it's, never hurts. You're not going to take out the turret that way, but at least you can avoid doing damage. And there's sometimes when there's a turret and a lot of enemies, just kind of like there, you can take out the two just by mashing your sword. They do actually lock the door here, as you can see, until you clear out everybody, which is just, annoying with the turret around. The northern area, though, really preferences being able to have good timing in your fights as the crows rush at you, and then also being nimble in terms of jumping between platforms. The south was more about being very quick in battle and being able to dodge, a lot of those rushing attacks by the big plants and dealing with ranged enemies. Now watch me with a single grenade take out all these guys. Truly inspiring. Anyway, obviously the deal here is you have to kill all the enemies before the floor dissolves on you, and a better placed grenade wouldn't have made that even easier. But I did okay as is. Here the ground starts falling away if you're too slow. Fortunately, you can stand up here. I'm taking way more hits than I need to. I need to be moving up and down on this platform to avoid these rushes. But instead, I'm just standing in place like a dummy. But whatever. Always look for those little signs. I think that was probably something in the patch. I don't know that there was one there originally. And this is interesting. Look at these big reservoirs of the purple liquid like we saw in the eastern area. Just showing that there are indeed, or at least were, connections between the four areas. It's not clear if the amphibians themselves had any contact with the bird cult, but I wouldn't rule it out. At least the civilizations that predated them seem to, if not get along, then at least have some kind of accord. There was a secret down there that I missed, by the way. Feel free to point that out in the thread. I'll still accept it, but I realized that I missed it. If you get up close and personal with these guys, you will have time to get a charge shot off and then immediately dash. And that can get you out of their big wind-up attack. Here's where I was talking about before. If you don't take these guys out now, you'll be in a big brawl up there at the north with them firing their magics at you. However, with the tennis reflection projectile technique, that makes that pretty easy. Used my grenade too soon. If I'd waited for these two crows to dive in, that would have been even easier, but no trouble as was. Does that kind of look like a stoat there that got sacrificed? That's interesting. I wonder if one of the reasons the amphibians were taking prisoners over in the eastern area was to get slaves to sell as tribute and sacrifices, or to trade for tribute and sacrifices for the bird cult up north. Interesting. And this is looking pretty final here. Notice that little secret sign right there. Always be on the lookout. Nothing but a health pack, but still, oh, never mind. There is an extra area in here. And look at that, it's a body, which usually means good loot. It's interesting that they have that trigger there, because why wouldn't you just be able to walk in and grab it? Kind of makes you wonder what happens if you're back here and you flip the switch. Notice there's nothing to the right there, but if you affect it, yep, that lowers a gate that lets you go to the right and get another doubloon. This is it, the big arena. Now, what makes or breaks you here, I've found, is whether or not you can take the advice I had earlier, which is wait for the sound of them starting their dive, and then move perpendicular, basically, as close as you can to perpendicular from the way that they're attacking. That means you don't have to worry about them at all, and you can get they're wide open to your attacks. If you just stand in place and try to bat them away, like that, then there'll be too many of them, and the rhythm isn't going to work out. See, basically, every time I stand still, I get snapped, and every time I'm able to move perpendicular, I'm just fine. That was a good wind-up shot. Wind-up shots are a bit chancy. But, when you get them off, they do pay off pretty well. If I took a hit to that one. It's good to have some grenades in reserve for these later areas. And see, here's where I mean it's so good to have that projectile reflection, because you can just wail away, take out the crows as they fly, and also take out the magicians. Not bad at all, ladies and gentlemen. We first tried that sucker. And as our reward, both a piece of 8 and the final monolith. Absolutely lovely. You may recall from last time, there was one pillar we hadn't teleported to the top of, and that's where we go now. With that, I believe we have almost completed the northern area. There's still one key door we don't have enough keys to get in, and a few things we missed. But look, we've completed all 4 of those monoliths, and we're only missing one from the eastern area. So let's tie up most of what we have in the eastern area. I know there's also a couple like doubloons and stuff that I missed, but we'll have to go back. So here's the eastern area. It's just down a little bit south from the teleporter, and we saw this a bit last time, or a few times ago, but we couldn't get to it. Now that we've got the sniper shot, we're able to. And this is a big old dash challenge. You do need to move left and right, though. For somebody that's done 800 dashes, though, no big deal. And there we go. Check it out. I believe that means we have all the keys from the first 2 areas. So we're on track with all the monoliths from the northern area, all the keys from both areas, and all of the, almost all the major modules from both areas. So this is right near the underwater guy, as you can see. You go up here by this gross plant, and there's another sniper shootable pillar to the left. Presumably that used to be where you would go to get to it, but that pathway has eroded over time. Nice of them to include some shootable maintenance access pillars, or whatever those things are supposed to be. And I'm really not farming for health packs. Again, if you're doing this for your first time, or whatever, you just want to be safer or not dumb, then do that more. Sniper's still pretty good against these guys. See how much of a difference it makes being well outfitted versus not. I mean, you know, we're just wrecking these guys. This is, in fact, I mean, you can see there's gaps between when they're sending out the amphibians. They don't even expect it to be, you know, to take you this short amount of time. I'm doing great here in the beginning. Don't worry, that's not going to last. Like, this is, I'm just looking in fine form. But this is very much a rhythm kind of game in terms of combat. Look at it. Just in terms of if you get off of your rhythm a little bit, it's easy to take, you know, all of your hits. You saw I did amazing there in the beginning, and then as soon as I took one hit, I took 2, 3, 4, just in quick order. And here we go. That's all the major modules from the eastern area. Which means we will be able to go through the all major module door and complete a final challenge. I don't know why it took me so long to remember how to operate that. We don't even really need to do this. We could just teleport right back to the center. For whatever reason, it was always hard for me to remember my first time where the all-module door is, so I think I'm going to show the whole path you take to get there. I'm basically doing that, I don't know, I guess just to help anybody else who might be playing through or something. But I don't know if it was in like a... I don't know why I didn't remember it. I just never remembered that this is where it was. So you go up from the teleporter. The levels generally have pretty intuitive level design. Just for some reason I got a little bit turned around in the water couple of times. Don't know why I bothered finishing him off. There was no real reason to. You can just dash past everybody here. It's a really cool fountain. Anyway, here we go. Now, as before, this is sort of a final exam for the eastern area, and there were two major parts to the eastern area. One of them was obviously dodging flames, and the other was fighting big enemies that rushed at you. So we'll be seeing plenty of both of that. Notice you saw that little secret sign there, indicating which side you were meant to jump off of, which I think is a nice touch. Even if it is just a health pack, those are certainly welcome. It may not be clear at first why there's a flamethrower up there, because there's nothing up there, no reason to go up. In fact, I just hit like a dummy, but we'll see later. If I'd just gotten it through that gap there, I would have taken out more enemies, but you know, whatever. There we go. I promise one day I will do something about that. Not bad. Just took a moment to celebrate my victory, I guess. It's always a little tricky in these multi-way areas because if you're a good video gamer like me, you want to go to the progression path last and just mess around for as long as is humanly possible, or whatever we are possible. I wish it was like, if these ninjas jumped into the water, then they could pop up again somewhere, but I think they just die if anybody jumps into the water. Anyway, we are wealthy beyond mortal measure. One of the things that's a little irritating about collecting all of the pieces of 8 and doubloons and all that is you run out of stuff to buy pretty quickly. Like, there's just no reason to get all. I think there's 168 little pieces, and we're going to run out of stuff to buy with it. Before that, do not you worry. We're already more than halfway through buying all the upgrades, I think. Unless you count, I guess, all of the gun upgrades, which there are still some more of. Secret sign up on the top there. And being a dummy, I don't see the outline of the button down there just below me. Fortunately, I do kind of muddle my way into it. That's fine. Because of those bamboo, there's nothing you can do over there. But there we go. All about the doubloons. At least until we get all the upgrades. You know, it's fine to collect everything. Now, here comes our final fight room. I still have bad memories of this one from New Game Plus, too. I know I keep referencing that, but these rooms really stand out in my mind. Notice those buried little stalks. You remember that those indicate, yeah, these guys. Really should have sidestepped that. Fortunately, this is why I like to have the chain dash in a battle scenario, because it's just so nice to be able to get away from it. To get far away from situations like that. I would have preferred to have the shotgun here, probably, but I didn't go back and respec myself. Get 2 guns at a time. And I guess we kind of threw up because both of those guys jumped at the same time. Fraps did. So let's just take a second and try it again, unfortunately. I won the fight, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I apologize about that. Something about their jump animation, because it actually slowed down Fraps 1 or 2 more times after that, and you can kind of see me using the reward you get for beating this area, which is a new ranged weapon. We'll talk about it here more in a second when you can see it clearly. Not my favorite ranged weapon, but then again, this is a completely optional area, so I can't complain too much. I'm sure it's got its uses. The trick with the jumping guys is obviously wait for them to jump and then just dash away. Or just run away even, but be close enough to, you know, swipe at them big time. Apparently you can hit them as they're coming down, though I would not recommend that. There we go. Now... cannot believe I took that hit, what a dummy. Yeah. You fire this gun. See, it does kind of a spread fire out and in like that. And if you don't kill an enemy, then that's whatever. You just, you know, like it doesn't do as much damage. It covers a wider area than the shotgun, I guess. The skeleton with the gun was right there. And there was a little minor, there was a piece of 8 up there. Again, Fraps had a problem, so that's why I couldn't record it the first time. But I went back and show you everything. Anyway, yeah, it's a new gun. We'll get it upgraded once we get the pieces of 8, but that's like very last priority for me. If somebody knows a way to be really effective with it, you know, feel free to tell me, or if they know somebody it's great against or something. I just think for short range, I'd rather have the shotgun. For long range, I'd rather have the sniper. Don't neglect that secret sign, because here is our last monolith. Again, I got that the last time I played through, but Fraps wasn't doing its job correctly. And with that, we have completely completed the eastern area and this section, so we are going to go west next time. I look forward to that, and I look forward to seeing you all back then. Let me know in the thread or the comments who you would like me to buy from next, probably the dash or the sword guy. And thanks for watching. I will see you next time on Let's Play Hyper Light Drifter.